I want to welcome to the stage Leon Haynes of Hosanna House and Dan Height from Justice Works. Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Looking dapper out here.
Thank you.
Our first guest, honored to be the first ever guest on the People stage here. And we are excited to not only have the two of you to talk about cars, but also to talk about both of your organizations. Dan, if we can start with you, if you could just talk about Justice Works and how it came to be.
Jim Oakey, thank you very much. Justice Works is 24 years old, and it's an organization whose mission is to help improve the world one family at a time. So we work with families in the child welfare system, kids in juvenile court, and in the education system. All of our services are community-based, usually in people's homes, but we connect with a lot of other resources, which is part of how Leon and I have become friends.
And Leon, I actually used to live in Wilkinsburg when I was a student at Pitt. So
all right, we're looking for you.
Yeah, to hear about Hosanna House was really cool because I feel like as a young student here, I wasn't really involved in a community that I, as much as I am now, having kids of my own. What inspired you to start the house?
Well, I think when you have kids of your own and you look around in society and you say, what's not happening, then you find out, well, what is my response to what's not going on? And in Wilkinsburg, when I started, Wilkinsburg was economic deprivation was all-time high. We were second to Philadelphia in gang and violence. So, tag, you're it. What are you going to do about it? So I began advocating for the needs of children in the community.
I watched a video of yours, and you said it takes many hands to make a heavy load light. And we are here at the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix. What does it mean to you? Both of you are part of a youth judging award program to have local youth in the community involved with an event like this.
Well, you said it right. Many hands make a heavy load light. I'm sure if you're a race car driver, you can appreciate your crew,
right?
All right? So for me, I appreciate all volunteers, investors, and people who just want to get engaged with what we're doing to make a difference in young children. But the youth, in terms of their judges, this is the first time. I think you hit youth judges here. Our kids went through a 5-week program of learning how to be a judge, how to look at cars. And you need to understand, most of our children have never seen vehicles like this. And so let's now build them with as a model and then begin to study them, thanks to people like Dan's Garage, who let us experiment on him, all right? And as well as our Frick Museum, who had the Black Mobility Museum that they're doing there is a great showing. Everybody should go and experience that. Our children had a chance to do that. But all of these experiences and all these encounters are making them think about, can I be a designer? So we had Jeff Giles, I think it was, who's a designer. Our kids got to see him through video conferencing. So all these opportunities are exposing our young people to what they might could do next, whether I'm a mechanic, whether I'm a driver, whether I'm a salesperson, or, power mechanics.
Yeah.
These things are exciting to see our children do that out here today.
It's funny because I recently learned that we have a Pitt grad that works for McLaren, and she's an engineer, and we're going to maybe go do a feature on her at a race in Indianapolis.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, you never know. You think of just drivers. You don't think of all of the other jobs that can be involved in auto racing, whether it is Formula One or street racing as well. Dan, you've got this garage. A car representing every decade? How did you build up this, amass a group of cars like this, and which ones do you pick to go into your garage?
Thank you, Jamoki. Well, I have a master's degree in psychology, and that's what led to my career. I think I'm a postdoctoral fellow in being a car nut, and I've been one since I'm 8 years old. I could tell you at 8, a block away, that's a Buick, it's not a Chevy. And a couple of years later, I could tell you it's a Buick Roadmaster, it's not a classic. I just have always had an absolute passion for cars. And I reached the point, not all that long ago, 10, 15 years ago, where I was able to keep more than one car at a time. And I reached a certain point, I looked for a place to house them together, and came across what had been a car repair shop in Wilkinsburg for 42 years. It was owned by an ex-Marine. He was a hot rod builder, a drag racer, super nice guy, Joe Minert. And he got ready to retire, and I bought the building, spent a couple of years fixing it up. There's a working soda fountain among all the cars. And I just started adding cars. People always ask me, well, what's your theme? And I'd say, well, my theme is to buy things I love. And I have very eclectic tastes. But at some point, shortly after I bought a 1924 fire truck.
Was that your first one? That was the first?
First fire truck.
First fire truck, okay.
It wasn't my first car. I don't know, 6 or 7 then. But I realized that with a couple more decades, I could have a vehicle from every decade from 1900 till now. And so I purposefully set out to fill that niche. And the first one was a 1911 popcorn wagon, which is actually horse-drawn. But it looks like the circus is coming.
I love a wagon, but I don't know if I can go back that far.
It's great. And then the last decade, or the first one, is a 1905 Buick, which happens to be the 5th oldest Buick in existence.
Wow.
It's all brass, and a beautiful, beautiful car. But, yeah.
Is there a car that has eluded you, that you're like, I've got to get this in my collection?
Well, I have a long list. So a lot of cars that attract me. The thing that's probably top of my brain these days is a 60s Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Speciale. I mean, the name alone is worth the price of admission. But there are a lot of cars I love, and maybe one day.
Maybe one day. I feel like one day I want to have a Volkswagen Westphalia. I just want to hit the open road and have a Westphalia. How often are you finding kids that are interested in cars that maybe came from a place that you didn't understand, if it was like Cars the movie or having the Hot Wheel cars versus what your mom and dad drove? How does that interest grow in the young kids?
Well, I think a lot of our kids don't know what they don't know. Okay. All right, so if I'm not growing up around these type of vehicles, I don't know anything about them. I don't have a real perspective outside of maybe looking at them on television saying I like it. But if I can't touch it, see it, and feel it, then I don't see it as my reality. So this opportunity for all these vehicles out here for our kids to touch, see, and feel, go to garages like Dan's Garages, go to Frick Museum and the Black Mobility Project. Now they're touching it, seeing it, and feeling it, and they're coming up with their own, this is what I like about cars. This is what I want to do, a type of car I want to have. So those are the things that I think really make a difference for our young people to be able to touch, see, and feel, and perform these new perceptions about what they really think about cars.
All right, well, without further ado, let's bring on Alberto Sanchez, the VP of Relation Management for Key Bank, and the car judges here. Come on up. We're going to find out which Ferrari is the best Ferrari here. Best in Show 2023. Hello, how are you?
Good.
What's your name?
Ariana.
Ariana. And your name is?
Amela.
Amela. Let's hear it up for the judges here. Joining Dan and Leon here. Alberto, you want to take the mic here?
How you doing?
Good. Nice to see you again.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. I'd like to thank Leon and Hosanna House, as well as Dan Hite, for putting this program together. This is the inaugural program. This is the first time that the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix has partnered with the Hosanna House for the youth judging program. And we look forward to many more years partnering with the Hosanna House. I had the pleasure of visiting the Hosanna House with Leon a few months ago, and I was totally blown away by the facilities, not just in the main campus, but also in the alternate campus, which is the Sherwood Event Center. Yes. And it's a beautiful center with a pool, a grilling area, and available
Tuskegee Museum,
the Tuskegee Air Museum, as well as the CAT, the Center for Aviation Technology and Training.
Yes.
Beautiful programs that train kids to be future aeronautical technicians and to be in the field. And right now, you're training some kids to get their commercial license to pilot drones with the FAA, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Beautiful program. I was blown away by the facilities, by everything that you all are doing. 36 kids were originally chosen to be part of this. They went through a 4-week rigorous program on how to judge cars appropriately, and out of the 36, a final 6 were chosen. And I'd like to thank again Hosanna House, Mr. Height for helping us with the judging as well, and of course KeyBank for their matching donation to be able to put all this together. And without further ado, we will announce the winner. And the winner is
Perry Rigetti and his F488 Spider.
awesome, Mr. Rigetti.
Move up here. Get up here.
Can I take a picture?
Wait, move over here in the center. Move over here in the center of the stage. All of us? Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, in the middle. We have the street.
You want me to sit down or you want to stand?
Should we sit or stand?
You're good.
You sit.
Sit?
Yeah, please.
Get some pictures. Good job.
So if I can ask the judges, how did you pick this car? What did you like most about it?
Okay, so we split up into boys and girls, and we all did separate judging, and then how we liked the car, and then we all came together as a group, and then picked the winner.
What surprised you most about judging? Because when I read the history of what you had to go through and the list of the qualifications, and like when you can't wear a belt, can't get too close to it, did anything surprise you?
Yes, when they said we can't wear jewelry.
Jewelry, huh?
Respect the car.
Well, congratulations. Thank you very much. Dan, Leon, congratulations on winning this award. All right. And without further ado, come on up here for 1 minute. 1 minute. We wouldn't have this award if it was not for this gentleman right here. If you want to say a few words, Bernie.
So I really want to thank Leon. For 10 years, we looked for somebody to create a youth judging program, and we weren't successful. And it was happenstance that we met at a Grand Prix event last year at PPG Place, and he said, we want to do some things. And I'm like, wait a second, you want to do what? So I'm really appreciative to Leon and to Dan, letting everyone learn. And for Ralph Gills, who's not here, who's the head of design for Stellantis, for spending some time on a Zoom call with the kids. So a lot of people to thank. Thank you guys for supporting this. There you have it.
All right. Bernie Martin, thank you very much for allowing me to play a role in this. And thank you very much for coming up on the People stage. And we will send it back to the studio. Lizzie Barker coming up next.
Great job.